Hi there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, for whatever timing you are getting to see this video. Today, I want to share something really important that has been strong in my heart for a while. So, for up to a month now, the Lord put in my heart to share concerning prayer, especially to those who are struggling with prayer. So, one of the things that the Lord was trying to talk about is using my prayer structure, my prayer pattern to explain how that another person can come into certain prayer ease and simplicity. So if you're struggling with prayer, if you follow this I'm about to share, I can assure you that you will come into certain uh, ease, consistency, and productivity with your prayers. One of the things that the Lord told me to share, one of the things that I was in my heart to share is following my prayer work is this. When you want to pray, plan your prayer. Prayer is not something that can just happen to us. Yes, there is such a thing as the spirit of supplication, which is the spirit of prayer. It comes upon us, especially maybe when the Lord is trying to get our attention or our heart to pray concerning certain matters and we are struggling with it. God has a way of putting such prayer burdens on us so that we can pray. But tell me, prayer burdens will not always happen to you. You will not always feel like praying, but you have to pray because why? Prayer is how we show that we have dependency on the Lord. Prayer is the life source of our life. Any believer who does not pray is a proud believer. Only proud people don't pray. Those who are not proud are people who are quick to pray. People who show that they depend on the Lord, that they trust on the Lord to do things for them and for the Lord to lead them are people who give themselves to praying. So if you don't pray, you are very proud. And guess what? Pride goes before a fall. People who are humble show their humility in prayer. So let's go back to the gist of how I can help you pray without struggling, how I can help you pray consistently. The number one thing I said earlier was plan your prayer. Don't leave your prayer to chance. Don't say, I will pray when I feel like. The truth is, the devil is after your life. So you may never feel like praying, but you have to make yourself to pray. So how you make yourself to pray is that you will intentionally plan your prayer. When you plan your prayer, it creates room for many other things in your life. And it shows how to help you accommodate other things in your life from a place of a praying person. So, how do you plan your prayer? When you have routines on your daily basis, you can allow your routine to come into a place where prayer is part of your routine. Make prayer, in fact, let your routine begin with prayer. There are people who say, I can't pray in the morning. Some say, I can pray at night. Some say, I can't pray in the afternoon. Well, we have busy schedules, we have all that is going on in our lives. So because of the things happening in our life, there are tendencies that we can plan our prayer time differently. So somebody may say, I pray better early in the morning, say I pray later at night. Whichever works for you, but the most important factor is that make sure you plan your prayer. Number two thing that you should do after planning your prayer is set alarms. Set alarms. Alarm is not given to us to wreck our life. In fact, it's given to us to bring certain level of order, all right, with the things of the spirit that God has given to us. Yeah, the spirit of God can bring the greatest order in our life, but we can use alarm to just put one or two things in place. How do you do that? Set alarm. If you want to pray by 7 o'clock, please set alarm for 6:59. Set alarm for 7 a.m., 7 p.m. or 7 a.m., whatever timing you want to pray. Make sure that your alarm is, if you are one that struggles with prayer, maybe so seriously, set your alarm before the prayer time. Set your alarm exactly the prayer time. Set your alarm 1 hour or 2 hours or 30 minutes after your prayer time to keep you in check so that you don't feel like, I want to pray now. Once it's 20 hours, I'll stop praying. You will not even know when it's 20 hours, but if there's an alarm, you will be able to pray effectively for 20 hours. Okay, so number one is plan your prayer. Make sure that prayer is in your routine and prayer is your routine. Number two is set an alarm. When you set an alarm, it helps you to effectively pray. All right. Number three thing we do, why to help us come out of certain struggles in prayer, is that be intentional with your prayer. When I say be intentional with your prayer, I mean pray intentionally. All right. Pray intentionally. Have specificity when you go to God in prayer. Even if you are going to spend time in tongues, have specificity. I want to pray about health. I want to pray about money. I want to pray about family. I want to pray about the spread of the gospel. I want to pray about soul winning. Whatever you have desires to pray about, set it as intentionally. So number one, plan your prayer. Number two, set an alarm. Number three, have intentionalities in your prayer. When you are intentional about prayer, it will be easy for you to see result and productivity activity. If you just say, all I speak in tongues, shut up. So if you speak in tongues all the time, speaking in tongues does a whole lot more for us. And one of the most important thing it does is edification. So as much as you pray in tongues for edification, they are also praying in tongues specifically. So I can say, in the name of Jesus, I want to pray concerning my head. Now, the moment you're praying that, you are speaking in tongues because the direction that the tongue is going for is for your health. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, number 14 you should do when it comes to removing struggles from your prayer is break your prayer. Yes, after being intentional, break your prayer into intentionality. So, let's say you are struggling to pray 30 minutes. What should you do? Set alarms for 10 minutes each that will amount to 30 minutes. So, you set alarm from 7 a.m., 7 a.m. to 7:10, 7 to 7:20, 7:20 to 7:30. And then each prayer time that is set has specific prayer directions. For example, you want to say, okay, I want to pray 30 minutes for only one thing for the next 1 week. So you say, I'm praying concerning my health. So the first 10 minutes, your alarm rings, you are praying health. Second 10 minutes, your alarm is ringing, you are praying health. Third 10 minutes, your alarm is, you are praying health. By so doing, a lot of these are keeping you focused in prayer. Number one, you have a prayer direction. Number two, you have timing fixed. That's helping you to know how long you're praying. Number three, it will cause you to be consistent when you have, so our next point now, specific timing. When you want to pray effectively and you want to pray consistently, don't pray today 10 a.m., tomorrow 11 p.m., next tomorrow pray 1 p.m. No, it doesn't work like that. You will pray, yeah, but you will not be consistent as you ought to, because that means other things can determine when and why you should pray. So what you should specifically do is set specific time. What time works best for you? Is it 2 a.m.? Is it 4 p.m.? Is it 10 p.m.? Is it 2 p.m.? Set a specific time that you pray every day. Once you have a specific time where you pray every day, it will be so easy for you to always pray. Why? Because you are specific, you are intentional, you set your alarms, and then you plan your prayer in your routine. So if you really want to get out of prayer laziness, then be intentional. One more thing I want to say before I bring this video to a wrap is that when you are praying or when you are planning to pray, know that every time you set in prayer, once you beat that time once, twice, three times, you can never be reduced to that timing. You will forever be going upwards. So you start by praying 30 minutes for 1 week or for 1 month, you struggle through it, but yet you made it through. The next thing you do, you set alarm for 1 hour. Once you beat 1 hour, you go forward to 1 hour 30 minutes, from there to 2 hours to 3 hours, to then until you get to a point in your life where you don't need majorly alarm, the ending alarm. You just start your alarm, but when the prayer ends, you don't know, you don't tell, because why? You have stretched for a couple of hours and you did not even feel like you are stretching for so long. So yeah, if you really want to enjoy the factors that prayer brings, then you should allow yourself to intentionally plan your prayer.